So we have a guest today, the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Zimfer.
Boom.
Man, thank you. Jeff's out here in Boise, Idaho. We're masterminding, we're scheming some ways to take high level adoption in the mortgage industry to just some crazy heights. So today, what Jeff is going to do for us is Jeff is going to walk through how Jeff has been using Go High Level in his coaching program for how long? How long?
4 years.
4 years. Holy shit. That's almost as long as us. There aren't a lot of people in the industry that have been using High Level as long as we have. And so I'm really excited for a lot of new people, a lot of loan officers that are new to using Go High Level. I'm excited for them to see what another seasoned Go High Level expert is doing.
Well, I don't know about that,
on
but
the daily. So yeah, so guys, thanks. Like I said, Marcin, thanks for hopping on into the Zoom room. We're live on Facebook. We typically have a few people there hanging out that will jump into the Zoom room with a little bit of coaxing. But there are a lot of people that come back and watch the replays as well. So again, what we have planned is for Jeff to just kind of walk through what he's using High Level for in his coaching program, and he's going to do a little bit of plugging of that coaching program, or if he doesn't, I will at the end, as far as whether or not you should be using that in your business. I've talked about it before a couple times in this group. So yeah, excited to jump in. Jeff, what do you, for the listeners that don't know who you are, which I can't imagine will be very many, or viewers, right? Look at that. Boom. We just start, people see Jeff on and all of a sudden it's like, shit, let's go.
Tickets are almost sold out.
Jeff, why don't you introduce yourself for those of the people watching that haven't met you?
Sure. So Jeff Zimfer, if you don't follow my podcast yet, you can check it out. I think I've been doing the podcast 6 years. Maybe a little more in frame.
There we go.
Podcast for 6 years now. It's called Mortgage Marketing Radio. I'm coming up on my 300th episode soon. So been around for a minute. I actually was an originator, started in 2003, did that for a decade, did well, was doing over 120 loans a year myself back in 2003, before all these wonderful tools, Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, my whole thing is, I'm really focused on helping originators grow 2 areas of the business. And so if I look at the business, right, in terms of sources of business, and this is why I think we're, kind of a good match, is that the foundation for me starts with the referral partners and with your database as like, the primary source for quickest, shortest path to business, highest conversion rates, lowest cost, right? That's the base for me. And then up the pyramid you go, so to speak, which is, more obviously in your area of expertise of lead gen, online, et cetera, traffic, all those types of things. And so why I use High Level is because one of the biggest challenges, and you guys tell me, like in the group, like where are you at with your realtor partnerships, your realtor referrals? How would you score those? Do you need more referrals, realtor referrals? Do you need more realtor partnerships in this market, this purchase market? Because what I'm finding is most people need more realtors than they've ever needed before. So what I do is I help loan officers attract, capture, and convert realtors and get referrals at scale without cold calling, without begging, without chasing or any of that. And we do that by leading with education, an educational platform in your local market that you teach local classes, whether it be in person or over a Zoom. You're now attracting people to you. We know it's a sifting and sorting game with real estate agents. And so, we're doing that at scale, leveraging High Level for a lot of the kind of, automation of that, the relationship outreach, connection, and conversion. And of course, the tip of the spear of that is, you hosting an educational class in your local market that's going to put you above the noise and differentiate you from the usual stuff you hear from most loan officers in the market.
Yeah, the scale, the piece that like I always hang on to as we're talking about this is at scale. That's what makes me so bullish on agent education as like a business, a pillar of your business, and a loan officer's business model, business plan, whatever you want to call it, is because of the leverage piece, the piece that like in no other environment is it appropriate for you to court 30 agents at a time, right? Where is it appropriate? In a class setting, in an educational setting. It's not, any other setting, and you're playing the field, right? You're not like, it's not encouraged. to go out and go to a place where there's a 30-to-1 ratio of agents to lenders. Like there's no other environment where that's the case, and where you can create a captive audience like you can with the education. So leverage and scale are the two reasons why I'm so bullish on this as a way to build your business as a loan officer.
I see Jonathan Rouse in here. Fantastic podcast. What's up, JR? How you doing?
Yeah.
Long time no see.
I think John might have originally found us through a mortgage marketing radio episode like years ago.
Wow.
John's been a client twice now.
Twice.
Yeah.
So good he had to come back for more.
I don't know if that's what it was, or if Corey and him just click really well, and the Idaho market, John's in the Idaho market crushing it. So but nice. Yeah, I want to go back and find that now. I have all that information. So I want to go back and see, is that somebody that we met through Jeff and through your podcast like years ago?
It was Rouse is a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Love that.
It was.
Yeah, thanks for hopping in, John. Thanks for being on. Cool. Well,
all right.
Yeah, then let's dive in, guys. If you have questions, we got Mike kind of
anything in the chat.
Yeah. So Mike's monitoring the chat. He's monitoring the Facebook live chat as well. So he'll raise his hand or do something to flag us down. But in the
there's Jay Rouse right here. It was in 2020.
2020. Holy shit. That's cool. And March. Oh, well, that's why there are 2 times.
Really?
Kind of a fucked up time in the industry, if you remember. It was kind of a fucked up time just overall. So
all right.
That makes sense. Thank you, John. Cool. Well, we'll dive in, and now I'm back and closing.
Of course you are, JR. If I remember correctly, didn't you have a baby, man? Like this is JR was part of my group for like a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
So now he's back. 4 kids.
4 kids.
That's right.
And living in Idaho. He's here.
2 fosters. Is this the Jay Rouse with Key Bank?
No, you were. Hey, John, where were you at Key Bank at one point? I thought you were with like a national bank at one point, but used to be at Key. Okay,
yeah, exactly. See, JR, I don't forget you, man. I remember you. We miss you, man. Come on, bro. Come home. All right.
We're creating a joint home.
Then you went out on your own 8 months ago. So you're a broker now.
Yeah.
Need to come back. Yeah, come on back, bro. You know how to reach me. Hit me up, Facebook, DM me. You might even have my mobile number still. So all right. So you want me to walk through how I'm using HighLevel?
Yes, please.
All right. So
everybody watching would love to see this.
I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to jump into a member's account. Okay. So as I said a moment ago, what I do is, or help loan officers do, is lead with education. So if you can picture this, right? We all need agent conversations. We all need to create awareness for ourselves and get attention, which is obviously kind of the big challenge with a noisy market and a lot of loan officers chasing the same agents. So what we're doing is we're equipping our members to go out into the field and educate agents on the areas they need to be educated on, right? Every agent wants to grow their business, wants to understand how to leverage new technology, right? And all that stuff. So one of the examples we do here is I've got this class that we do. By the way, so what a member does is they log into our platform, they choose which class they want to teach. It's basically a train the trainer platform. I'm training you how to teach these classes because I still do this in my local market in Vegas every single month. Matter of fact, Thursday, what's today? Tuesday. Last week, I taught this class to a room full of realtors that was hosted by a title company and a lender. And so this is an example I'm on. If I scroll to the bottom, there's Glenda. She's one of my members out of Texas. This is an example of a class you would host in your local market. It could be done over Zoom as well. But basically, you're hosting this class and you're inviting agents to come learn how to use ChatGPT in their business. So this is a landing page that we've built out in HighLevel for you. It's personally branded to you. It's obviously, got the date, time, location. Here's what you're going to learn. And so a realtor would come here and register for the class. And then what's happening in HighLevel is they're getting put into this opportunity pipeline, just like you would manage any other pipeline, a lead flow pipeline, a loan flow pipeline. And now we're taking agents who've registered for your class. So if look at this, I'm in Glenda's account. Glenda has 1,183 leads in here. These are agents that have registered for her classes over the last 2 years. So she's building this database of agents. And of course, we're tagging them based on which class they attended and so forth. And you can use all the different functionality of HighLevel in terms of notes and tasks and text messages. But the point is think about this. The class is the top of the funnel, right? It's more of the wide net strategy. So we're going to put a lot of agents in at the top of the funnel, the attended column, right? And now we're going to move those agents along in the process from attended to, maybe they registered but didn't attend. And so we're using some of the technology to automate that as well. What we do is we use a QR code in the class. So put a QR code up on the slide, they check themselves in electronically, and then that moves the person from registered to attended. And we have a process of like, if they registered but didn't attend. But the point is you want to, use that top of the funnel strategy to identify the agents you're going to work with, and then use the opportunity pipeline here to move those conversations forward. As you can see now, did you actually schedule a call and a meeting? Was the call meeting completed? What are the next steps? Are they interested in partnering? And then referral sent, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how we're taking this thing of like classes, which isn't necessarily new, right? But if you use that as a system, which is how I built my business, when I was an originator, but if you use that as a system, well, now you can take that attention that you've got from somebody who's registered and or attended your class, and you can take that attention and move it forward to build relationships, drive conversations. Make sense?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Furthermore, we've actually, I was talking to my buddy, Rene Rodriguez, the other day. I think you know who he is, Amplify. And Rene described what I do as a marketing department. He said, you're basically a marketing department, because we've taken about 10 different class topics that we have, and we've created the entire flow process for you. So for example, in HighLevel here, this same thing, ChatGPT, we've written the promotional email series for all our members. We've written all the confirmation and reminder series for all our members. So all you pretty much need to do is choose the date, time, and location of your class, follow our process that we coach and train and teach, get butts in seats, right? And follow our process, leverage the content we've pre-written for you. This is an example of the email. Here's your outbound email. Hey, this is the confirmation. Thanks for registering, et cetera, all the reminders, et cetera. So we maximize attendance. Text messages are going out. It's all coming from you, your email, all branded to you. And the point is, let's leverage that, goodwill that's created, that's value that's been poured into those people. Here's what happens is when you educate somebody, right? And you share something with them that helps them in their business, realize something, gain a competitive advantage, learn how to use a tool, reciprocation takes place, right? And so with reciprocation, people want to give back, right? The other thing that happens is when you lead with quote unquote value, it's a bit of a cliche term, but the value is you're going to help me move forward in my business, is resistance goes down, trust goes up, and conversion increases. And that's why this works so well, is because we're not doing, look, the classes of FHA and down payment assistance and all that, they all have their place and time, but let's just face it. Almost anybody can do that. Right? What the few that are willing to do is to step up and learn these topics that you need to learn as an LO also, whether that's social media, Instagram, right? Marketing, automation, database marketing, all that kind of business planning, some of our topics. You need to learn those as much as real estate agents need to learn those. And I think of a podcast I did with Wally Ellerberry. I don't know if you know that name, but Wally's out of who here knows Wally Ellerberry? Put it in the chat right now. Wally Ellerberry, $200 million a year.
John does.
Of course, JR does. JR is a good student. So Wally, $200 million a year, pretty good producer. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, pretty good. So Wally, on the podcast I did with him, he said basically how he grew his business to get such attention and engagement from agents is that he decided to become the best possible realtor he could without ever selling a house. So what that means is, he explained on the podcast, is he went out and sought the training, the coaching, and education that any realtor would need, went and got the one thing certified, went and got the, bold and all the stuff, right? And then when he was having conversations with agents about, hey, here's why you should choose me as a lender, he wouldn't talk about loan programs or guidelines. He would say, hey, what are your objectives? What are your goals this year? What are the biggest challenges you see that you're going to need to overcome to get there? Right. And then they tell them what the challenges are, the gaps between where they are and where they want to be. And he's like, I got a solution for that. Because he equipped himself with the tools and resources to be able to provide those solutions, which is what we're doing with the content and the classes in a similar fashion. So I spent a lot of time talking.
Yeah, no, I have a couple questions around it. I mean, first off, and this is a non-high level, and then I'll tie it more into like high level specific questions. The content, like the actual process of learning the information to be able to teach it as a loan officer? What does that look like? Like, are they getting a PowerPoint? Are they getting videos? Like,
Should I actually show them?
if you can, hell yeah.
All right, let's give this a whirl here. Let's get back into HighLevel.
And by the way, Jeff touched on something that I have tried to drive home in the past, which is the idea that there's like a dual purpose to learning new up and coming cutting edge marketing strategies. Like, there's a dual purpose that is, you do it, you learn it so that you can market your business on, forgive my word choice here, a high level, right? So that you can market your business better than your competition, but also because this is what real estate agents need to know, right? If you're learning how to market direct to consumers for your business and you're getting really good at that, like, you're going to have skills that translate. And whether that's high level adoption, like just as in a nutshell, right? I mean, we see a future where loan officers are signing up for their own Go High Level white label and then setting up sub accounts for their agents and being able to offer that to them for free, as like a value proposition, like, and then being able to coach them through, hey, here's your pipeline, here's how you should manage your lead flow through that. Guess what? Guess who has access to all of that agent's like lead data, and they know it, right? There's no secret behind it. So I see a future where that is the case, and that kind of speak like what you're talking about as far as, and what you're about to walk us through is how you teach loan officers the content that they need to be able to teach the agents. This is just another example of like every single one of these topics that you go through, like you said, are things that a loan officer needs to know for their business. Like, it's dual purpose. There's no reason why you shouldn't be going through this material. And
great point. That's what many of my members tell me is like, Instagram Reels, for example, is one of our classes. And what they say is, hey, I've learned how to do Reels by preparing to teach this class, So, all right. So how does somebody learn how to do this in their local market? I'll just cut to the chase here and go into our agent class library. So we've got these different categories. Sales and marketing is one of their larger categories. And so each one of these images you see here represents a class that our members go teach to agents in their local market. Let's take ChatGPT, since that's the one we were talking about. Basically, as a member, what you do is you come in here, and it's what I call a train the trainer program. So if I were to fast forward this a little bit, what this is a video of me presenting the class. And so I'll put this in full screen so you can see this. So now what a member does is they log in there and they watch me teaching the class to the viewer. Speaker notes are included, PowerPoint's downloaded. This video up here of that crazy frame of me.
It's a great still shot.
That's all right. Yeah, what are the odds? So the point being is, as I said a moment ago, I teach these classes in front of agents every single month. Now, why that's important, why I tell you that, is because I think it is a unique skill set to be able to put this content together, which is I do it, put the content together so that it's easy for you, the loan officer, to teach, but also easy for the recipient or viewer to understand. And you have to understand agents at a deep level to be able to do that and keep them engaged and make sure it's valuable for them and it's not generic, right? So that's why I think, me being in this since 2003 and working with agents all I have and LOs and all, that's why I think it really moves the needle for a lot of people, is because it has that impact. So you basically log in, you watch this a couple of times, and then, you download the various resources, you make it your own. Here you can see, download the PowerPoint. And now we're actually putting all of our classes on Canva. So if we got any Canva users out there, you can use the Canva version of it. And we're actually doing the done for you flyers, done for you social media images that are all in Canva. You just click the link. If you want to do an Instagram story, for example, great. Open it up in Canva and you're going to get, well, this is a feed post, but you're going to get the done for you images as well. Again, a marketing department in a box.
Yeah.
Pick the class you want to lead with. Watch the video a couple of times, make it your own, edit it, add your own content, whatever, and then follow our process and system for promoting. Lastly, in terms of contacts, let's speak about promoting again. So here's Glenda's account. Once again, 1,630 records in her account. So that if she's promoting a class, now I know all of these aren't agents, but most of them are. She's actually now using this, get this, putting clients in there. First time home buyer, under contract. Look at that.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to see that progression of using a platform like HighLevel for more, right, for what it's really intended to be used for. So I don't know if that helps answer the question of how do you actually.
Yeah. And like, it was a non-technical question, but just because I know like that would be my first question is like, okay, well, don't I need to be an expert to be able to teach this stuff? And that might like expertise is relative, right? Like you don't have to be the number one chat GPT expert in your market or in the world to be the best chat GPT expert that is willing to offer a class to 30 agents on chat GPT, right?
So good story about that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because in the past, people have said, well, I don't do reels or this or that or whatever. So excellent point. You do not need to be the subject matter expert. I liken it like this: is you're the nightly news reporter. You're simply reporting the news. Like those guys and gals, they're not experts on the topic. They're just simply reporting the news. Right. I have a quick little story, if I may.
Yeah.
One of our members, Janelle out of Maryland, she was teaching the YouTube class because that's one of our classes, and she taught it to a room full of agents, and she let me know afterwards. She's like, Jeff, the feedback was great. Everybody loved the content and everything. They loved the examples, because back to my point a moment ago of all of my classes are full of examples of agents, right? Here's how you do YouTube. Here's how you do a short. Here's 3 examples of reels. Here's what an opening hook is. Like, it's all very agent specific. As she said, she relies on the content as a sort of crutch, not her own expertise. So back to the YouTube, she said, everyone came up to me afterwards, Jeff, and said, wow, what a great class. And she goes, and no one asked to see my YouTube channel. She's like, and it's a good thing because I don't have one. And so there goes the point.
Yeah.
They're not looking to you to be the expert, right? You're just the messenger, as I said.
Yeah. You're not selling them a course. Like, you're trying to get them to use you as their mortgage lender. Like, that's still your job. That's still your role.
Yes.
They still understand that. And yet you still can open way more doors by leading with some level of expertise, and introducing them to these concepts that like nobody else has taken the time to like.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump it, right? Is that yours? Is that nobody's taking the time to Forrest Gump this information for them.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Awesome. Right on. Well, it's still live right now. I know that we've got multiple people watching both in the group and on live. Does anybody have questions for Jeff and maybe something that he's using? I mean, the membership area, I have zero experience with that. Jeff has a ton of experience with the membership area. His experience with agents, with following up with agents with the system, where our experience leans a lot on following up with leads. So I think that this is an opportunity, and it may be the first of multiple opportunities, but for right now, it's the only opportunity that we've gotten to be able to kind of pick your brain when it comes to this stuff. So I want to, again,
what's your biggest challenge right now?
That.
What's their biggest challenge?
There you go. You hear it. What's your biggest challenge? What's your biggest challenge in your business right now?
I can guess.
What platform are you using for the webinar? We can answer that while we wait for the for somebody to come back with their biggest challenge. Jared out of San Diego is asking, what platform are you using for the webinar?
For this webinar, or
no,
presenting virtually, Zoom.
Yeah, you just use Zoom.
Yeah, it's easy. Everyone knows it by now.
Yeah. We talked earlier, and you said you have used StreamYard in the past, and selfishly, like, I'd like to know why, if you don't use it anymore, why you stopped using it. As it's something that like we want to explore to make these better.
Because Zoom is like starting your car. You're so used to it by now. Do you really have to think about it? It's easy. Since obviously COVID brought all that on. That's why it's the default go-to. Like StreamYard, if you haven't used it before, it's got some extra bells and whistles and things like that. I mean, you want to use StreamYard, fine. I've got a couple of people who use it, but if you're talking about doing meetings with agents, Zoom is the simplest thing to use.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, like, to speak to my perception on that issue, like, I know, it was Fund Loans, the guy that I was introducing you to, John at Fund Loans. I was on his podcast last week, the scheduling link that they sent me for it was Ring Central. It was a Ring Central video conferencing message, and I had to like create an account with Ring Central to be able to use this thing. And I was just like, the whole time I'm doing it, I mean, no offense, it's like, I'm just trying to speak to my knee-jerk reactions as somebody who's like interacting with another business person, because that's what we're all interested in, right? Is understanding how people are responding to what we're doing. And so, yeah, the entire time I was just like, why the fuck am I using RingCentral right now?
A lot of friction on that
one. Yeah.
So Jay Rouse has got a challenge
Yeah,
here.
he does.
Well, go ahead and read it.
Yeah, biggest challenge. So John says he wants to make sure I capture as many past leads and clients as I can. I need a better process to stay in front of them. So this is, so you said past leads and clients. Is there like, are you emphasizing clients that you've closed loans with in the past, or anybody that you that has like gone stale as far as your contact with them? So whether or not they've closed with you. I think that kind of influences my opinion on this, at least, right?
Yeah, two different types of follow-up.
So John, my question back to you for your question, right, is it more important to you to be able to address this question in the context that, well, I guess we could just do it both ways, right? Let's talk about anyone from past mailers, leads, and the ones Empower collect. So yeah, so we just want like old leads, basically, like not necessarily people that we've closed.
Reactivating them.
And then it looks like potentially, okay, so a better process to stay in front of them. Jared says biggest issue right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Lindsay dropped a help center article to our reignite workflow that we have that Jeff checked out earlier today and had some questions around. That is obviously an option. Also helping agents with their old leads. Awesome.
Oh, hey, interesting. It's
Yeah.
like he was sitting in our meeting this morning.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Awesome.
Yeah, that's, by the way, JR, that's why I see this incredible, kind of mashup between Michael and I. Is that's something I've been eyeballing for quite a long time, and I just don't have the bandwidth to do that in a great way. And of course he does here with a fantastic team. So I think you're going to see more stuff, if I may say, coming out of Idaho. Idaho HQ. Yeah, exactly. Related to that, because I think that's a huge opportunity today. All right. So Jared, biggest issue, conversion with a longer sales cycle and affordability. Longer sales cycle. The short answer to that is going to be, that's why marketing automation and lead follow-up systems are that much more important today, is people are taking longer times to convert. The affordability. I don't have a magic wand, I don't control interest rates, is what it is. Obviously, you guys know the tools, seller buy downs, all that stuff, whatever you can do there. Hopefully we see some additional relief with the rates as the inflation continues to perhaps get a little bit under control. So, and I think today more than ever, we just need to be more of a consultant than just a salesperson, and understand it's a long-term play. So I don't know if that answers that, but that's my 2 cents on that. Okay. What else we got? Challenges, issues. What's let me guys ask you this question. What's your, so here we are. What's the date today? May 23rd. Thank you, sir. May 23rd. There are less than, I did the math on this 2 weeks ago. What is there? Roughly 140 working days left in the year, give or take. Somebody can correct me on the math, but working days, let's call it 140. So that's obviously backing out weekends and holidays.
Yeah.
And so what you do now over the next
shit.
I know, right? Yeah.
I don't like that number.
Heads up, people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what you do now over the next 90 days will determine how strong you close 2023.
Michael Keller, you want to jump in and talk about
let's go, Michael.
Retargeting? Like the longer sales cycle, like just reminds me of his like recollection of your podcast with Grant Wise, and the like how like it didn't matter whether it was social or. Can
we unmute Michael?
I haven't yet. Let me see.
He's always got something good to add, man.
What? Oh, did he just decide to drop out? What happened, Mike? Or maybe he's coming in here.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Michael Keller.
Come on in.
In.
In the middle. See you.
Yeah. I'll just step out of the way. No, I'm good.
How are you? You want to talk targeting?
Let's talk retargeting, baby.
Is that so you can make fun of my Boston accent? Or
yes. Well, I'm originally from New England, so.
Because we kept saying retargeting.
No,
Okay. So this is Jared still there? Jared, let us know you're still here. Yes. So Jared put the biggest issue is conversion with a longer sales cycle. Affordability is a separate, we can't really do much there, but conversion with a longer sales cycle. How does retargeting play into that?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I listened to your podcast.
But you stayed in a Holiday Inn last night.
Yes. I listened to your most recent podcast, which everybody needs to listen to because I say it's packed with statistics. So statistics are substance. And one of the points that they put out, more for realtors, but all loan officers need real estate agents at this point or to provide value.
Right.
Realtors are saying the same thing, whether it's the sphere of influence, which is obviously the best. I think he said was around the 340 days to close on average of a purchase deal. As you go into more of the digital side, Facebook, SEO, leads, 370. So it's about the same. And he said with the retargeting,
it's like a year.
Yeah. But we all don't move
no,
as much as we used to refinance.
Right.
So it takes 60 views of you on average to get that close, is what he was finding out among his whole community of real estate agents. So with retargeting, which fascinates me, is just the low barrier to entry to get in. Meaning you could do it for $1 a day if you don't have a big retargeting list. You could do it for $5 a day.
Yep.
I think the bigger question is, how do I do it? Where do I go? That's where you and Michael step in. And it occurred to me, you have all these different opportunities to retarget. You obviously need to make some videos, which revolve around testimonials, he said,
stories,
educational. But it's really educational and slipping in a testimonial here and there if you can, or a third party story. And during family events, during the summer, you go down to the Little League game. Those are all the people that you can be very tactful about the retargeting. You take your prospect folder, you upload, those emails, and anybody that you, especially in your, I think, immediate community, retargeting is not used enough because, again, the learning curve is tricky, but there are resources out there. It was my takeaway that if you can get the right coach, the right mentor, which you guys were saying earlier,
system and process. I want to ask anybody who's viewing here right now, if you do you need clarification on retargeting? Like what do we mean when we're talking about retargeting? Who needs a definition of that? Put your answers in now. Let's see what we got. All right. What is retargeting? Who knows what retargeting is? Free swag for anybody who can answer. It's easy to give swag away when it's not mine. But these are some killer shirts, man. All right. So while we're waiting for that to come in, Jay Rouse, what's up? He knows what retargeting is. You want to break down what retargeting is?
I think I'm not really the expert professional.
Come on, we want the novice answer. What does retargeting mean to you, Michael?
Retargeting means I run into somebody or I run into a product. And then when I go on social media, from a sales cycle, the first step of a sales cycle is bonding and rapport. So what I was telling everybody, they say, like, get away from how's the weather, how's sports, because you sound like every other loan officer
Small
going
talk.
It's the same. So they immediately, you said you want to get away from being a vendor. I think you said very early on, right? If you ask how the weather is, first impression, they already think you're a vendor because they already heard 3 other vendors ask, whether sports. So how can you build that bonding and rapport and not have to do it on the first 10 minutes of a phone call? It's with retargeting so that they know who you are. They know what you educate about. They know people in the community that you work with. That step is finished now. Now you're going right into upfront contract and then into the paying funnel. And so that retargeting, I think, is building trust.
Yes.
When you're not there.
It's building trust, familiarity, right? You squeeze in. Is there a thread to read? Any?
Here we go. I just want to add something around the retargeting piece. It looks like we don't have anything.
That was the last one.
So retargeting from a technical standpoint in HighLevel is really easy, especially with the APIs that HighLevel has with Facebook and TikTok and Google as well. So you can send your conversion data when you have somebody, let's say you have a form on your website and somebody fills out a form on your website or a lead form, whatever it is, you can pass that information, their email and their phone number, you can pass that to Facebook and you could say, hey, if you have somebody that matches this, I want to show them ads, right? And you can create as many of these different custom audiences as you want. And so we're using, you know, with loan officers as an example, like I might have an audience of anybody that I have never received an application on, like prospects, like super top of the funnel. I might have an audience for that. So now when I get a new lead that comes into my CRM, I set up, it's the add to custom audience action inside of HighLevel. It's a workflow action. It's not even a premium one. So you just add it to that custom audience. You also have the ability to remove. So now you can set up another workflow that, oh, when we get, you know, when we mark somebody as pre-approved or mark somebody as application received, we remove them from the pre-application audience. We add them to this next stage in the funnel. And so this can be, you know, Michael talked about, like, just for a lot of loan officers, this will just look like exporting their Encompass prospect, like the prospect folder in Encompass, and just starting with their contact information and uploading it there. It can be that. It can be importing from an old CRM or a company provided CRM. It can be you don't have anybody at this point, but you start a blog, like just a personal family blog. Like you don't have to be a digital marketer to use this, like to get value out of retargeting. Like I said, you could set up a personal blog about your family that only your family and friends ever check out, put a fucking pixel on it, and now you can retarget anybody that that lands on that blog. You can retarget all the time.
New t-shirt.
Put a fucking pixel on it. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. We're taking note of that one. So yeah, anyways, like just the more technical at like, what does retargeting look like for Go HighLevel users? That's what it looks like. It looks like using the APIs that are available to you to pass information into Facebook and say, okay, these are all of my prospects that haven't been pre-approved yet. These are all of my prospects that have been pre-approved yet. These are all the people that have bought from me previously. And like Michael said, you can go into Facebook, you can set these ads up and you can run them at $1 a day. And for most people, that'll be enough to touch their entire database multiple times per month for $30 a month. Like the lowest hanging fruit, hands down, for a lot of loan officers.
There you go, Jared. Does that answer the question?
Did Jared ask about retargeting?
That was Jared who asked that originally.
Oh, it was the longer
Yeah.
sales cycle, 100%. Retargeting.
And this, it's for the real estate agents, right? So like, I've tried multiple times to do it, and I watched YouTube videos. So my pain point was work-life balance. Like I never got out of the starting gate. So if you can help a real estate agent get out of the starting gate and really bring the retargeting, non-Boston accent, to the local proximity, I think what their reward is being seen in times that they weren't seen. So if you could focus on getting a list of maybe, you know, something local, like sponsoring a local Little League, if you help them retarget, and then every time they go there, people are now talking about their educational videos. Yeah. And before they weren't, you now have a partner for life, because they don't want to, that's a satisfaction people like, being told like, hey, I saw you, hey, I saw you, hey, I saw you. And they're not going to want to get rid of you as a partner, because they don't know how to set it up without you, because you set it up in the fact that you can do it and Go HighLevel. And I saw that I think I could do it. So if I can help the realtor set that up, they can't leave without without you, and then you can't leave without your program, and the whole world's happy.
That's called the pain of disconnect.
Pain of disconnect.
Yeah.
We'll put that one on a shirt.
All right.
Anybody else? Yeah.
No, but I'll leave as a special guest. Go
No,
back to
man.
watching
I
YouTube.
think the meter's about to run out on this.
Yeah.
Take
You
us
know?
home, Mike.
Exactly.
Take us home, Michael.
All right.
Hey, go park your car, will you?
I don't think he likes the accent. So I don't know.
You gotta. I mean, if you're from Boston, that's part of, like, believe me.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, this has been probably my favorite, if not the most valuable live stream that we've done up to this point. Really grateful for anybody who jumped on and engaged and is checking stuff out, even if you just jumped into the live group on Facebook, or the group live stream on Facebook. There you go. Even if you just jumped into that, we appreciate having you guys on. Does anybody, we're going to give like 30 seconds, open floor for anybody who has like a last minute Hail Mary. I want to know more about this.
I'll tell you what, if I may, if anyone is intrigued and wants to learn more about my program,
Oh, please.
they can go to mortgagemarketing.pro. You schedule a call with me directly and we have a chat. We'll see if it's a fit for you. Mortgagemarketing.pro.
So I don't want to step on your toes or take people out of sequence. So I'll leave this up to you. But if you have any interest in telling people what it costs to do that, I think that's
If you have to ask what it costs, you can't afford it.
All right. Well, you should ask because
They'll find out on the call.
There we go. The reason I was asking is because I was worried it might make our pricing look bad. So so if that gives you a little hint as to like what I think about how much Jeff is charging for the amount of value that he's packing into this, if that doesn't give you a hint, then this might not be for you. But otherwise, yeah, jump into the live call with Jeff. And stay tuned to what we've got coming out of Empower.
More to come. Baby.
Yeah, Mortgage Marketing Institute. Yeah, going strong. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We got nothing else in the group. Until next time, we'll see you at the top.